So now from this lecture onwards, we're going to start with the CSS part of the project. So for that, we need to use this style.css file. But before I start the code inside the style.css file, there is a one change we need to do inside the index.html. That is the division tag of the wire. Because right now I have actually specified the bulb division tag under the wire division tag. But this is the thing that we don't want to do because we want to add the division as a separate element under the light element, that is this particular light class element. So what I want to do it here, I want to just simply remove this particular division closing tag here, and I want to paste it because these two elements are actually the child of the light division element. Okay, so these are the two main childs of this particular division tag, that is the light. All right, so here I need to actually add the indentation properly. Actually we have three division elements, that is these three. So these three are the direct child of the main light division element. All right, so now we are ready to start the code inside the style.css. So inside the style.css, first I'm going to select the universal selector to actually set the default styling of the browser, which is the margin to 0, padding to 0, and then box sizing to actually is like border box. Once I did that, then you can see the default styling of the browser is actually changed. After that, I'm going to select the body to actually change the color and also to align all those two elements at the center of the browser screen. So for that, I will be here using the flex properties. So display is going to be flex. Then I need to use the justify content, which is going to be center. And after that, I will be using the align items, which is going to be center. Once I did that, then you can see now it's actually at this center, but I want to also align it vertically at this center. So for that, I will be here using the min height property, which is going to be like 100 VH. Then you can see now these two elements are actually shifted to the center of the browser screen. And after that, I will be here using the background property, which is going to be like hash symbol 3 times 2, which will basically give the darkish version of the gray color. Okay, now we'll be writing a CSS code, which is like body.on. This will be the CSS code to actually represent this radical effect. If I close it, then if I on it, then this the on effect is actually achieved by using the radical gradient. So in order to achieve it, I need to here use the background property. So background, then the radial gradient function. Inside of that, I need to specify the color code hash symbol 3 times 5, then hash symbol 3 times 1. Once I did that, then you can see nothing is going to change because this will be the code used whenever we click on this particular button. We want to actually apply this background color to the body of the web page so that it looks like we have on the bulb. All right. So our next step is we need to create this particular wire. Okay, so for that we need to write the code. So dot wire, because I already assigned a wire division under the light element as a child. So first we are going to create the wire, then the bulb, and then the switch. So one by one we are going to provide the code to each of these three class elements. So the first thing is here I will be adding the position to actually absolute. Once I did that, then you can see nothing is actually changed. And after that I will be here using the left property. So here I will be using the calc function, which is going to be 50%, calc 50% minus 2 pixel. Okay, and after that, I can here use the bottom property. So bottom, that is this particular one, which is going to be 50%. Okay, and now I will be here using the height property to actually specify the height, which is going to be like 60 VH. And then I need to here provide the width property, that is this particular one, which is going to be 4 pixel, which is the width of the wire. And then I will be here using the background property, which is going to be like hash symbol 3 times 0. Once I did that, then you can see now the wire is created. Now it's time to add the z index property so that our wire will actually display at the behind the bulb. So, and we're going to apply the z index property to bulb as 2. So here I will be using the z index, which is going to be 1. There is nothing is changed, but we're going to use the z index property inside the bulb also. So I will be here using the bulb, which is the next element, which is basically the division element of the bulb, that is this particular one. First I'm going to apply the code to this particular division tag, and then I will be applying the code for the bulb icon. Okay, so here first I will be adding the z index property. So z index is going to 2, so that our bulb will be appearing at the top of the wire. All right, and one more thing, I need to here specify some more properties, which is going to be position is going to be relative. Okay, and then I will be here using the width, which is going to be like 80 pixel, which is the maximum width allowed by the bulb icon, means the maximum width for this division. Then our icon is not going to be actually more than this 80 pixel. Okay, so our bulb is actually shifted a little bit outside of this particular wire. Okay, so now we need to add the code for the bulb icon. So here dot bulb, then I tag, and then I need to start its opening and closing tag. So here first I'm going to use the font size, which is going to be like 4 rem units, and after that I need to add the color, which is going to have symbol 3 times 4. You can see now the size of the bulb is actually increased, and after that I need to add the position, which is going to be absolute. After that I need to add the properties, which is like top from 50%, and from left it is going to be like 50% as well. Okay, actually I have control selected all, control save it. Now you can see the bulb is actually at the center, but still it is not like perfectly aligned to the wire. So for that I need to here use the transform and translate. So transform, translate, and here I will be using the minus 50%, comma, and minus 50%. And then I need to also rotate the bulb. So I want to rotate it to 180 degree. Okay, control save it. Now you can see the bulb is now perfectly aligned to the wire. It looks like that it is actually hanging on to the wire. Okay, so now the code for the bulb icon is also done. It's time to actually add the code for this particular switch icon. So for that we need to target the switch class. So switch class, then we need to start its opening and closing tag. So the first thing is I need to add the position to actually absolute. So I'm going to write all of these properties quickly. So it is going to like from top it is going to 60 pixel, then from right it is going to like 100 pixel. If I do that, then you can see it's actually moved here. Okay, so now our switch button is actually moved here. It's time to add the width and height. So width is going to like 40 pixel, then height is going to be like 40 pixel as well. After that I will be adding the background. So background is going to like has symbol 3 times C, which will gives us the gray color. Okay, now we need to style it a little bit more. So here I will be adding the border radius property, which is going to be like 50%. And then I will be adding the display, which is going to be like flex. And then I will be using the justify content, which is going to be center. And after that I will be using the align items, which is going to be center. So now you can see it looks like a switch button. And after that I will be adding some box shadow to it. So it's like a box shadow, which is going to be like gray. And then I need to add the 0 pixel, which is going to be like 10 pixel. Then I will be adding a 15 pixel, and it's time to add minus 5 pixel. Control save it. Then you can see there is a box shadow is applied to the switch button. After that I will be adding here a cursor to pointer. So when we hover over it, then the cursor is changes to pointer 1. After that we need to add the code for the switch. So icon, so switch I, and then we need to actually increase the font size. So font size is going to like 1.5 rem units. So you can see now the size is actually increased. And then we need to write the code, which is like on, then space dot bulb, and for the icons, so that we can change the colors of these icons. So icons, so yellowish color when the bulb is actually in the on state. So we are going to use the color. So here FFD700. So this will basically gives the yellowish color when the bulb is in on state. And similarly we want to change the color of the switch to green when the bulb is actually in the on state. So here I will be using the background property, not background attachment. It is like a background that is this particular has symbol 4CAF50. So that marks the completion of the CSS code for this particular bulb on off project. So in the next part, we're going to start with the JavaScript part. So whenever we click on this particular button, we want to create an effect that the bulb is actually on. So all of this stuff we're going to do in the next lecture. So now it's time to start with the JavaScript part of the project. So for that, we need to use the script.js file. Inside of the script.js file, first I'm going to here create some variables. So the first variable is going to hold the reference of the switch btn. So whenever we click on the button, we want to on the bulb. So for that, I'm going to here use the query selector. And here I need to specify the type of this selector. So it is actually a class selector. So I need to specify the dot, and then I'm going to here specify the switch, which is the name of the selector class. That is this particular one. So now we have bind this particular switch class element inside the variable. After that, I'm going to here create the another const. So it is going to be equal to document.body. Okay. And after that, I'm going to add the listener to the switch button. So it is like add event listener, because we want to listen to the click listener of the switch button. So it is like click listener, and here, and to start its arrow function here. So I'm going to here specify a callback. So I'm going to here specifying the arrow function, and we need to also start the body of the arrow function. Okay, and here I'm going to update the body class list dot toggle. So with the use of the toggle, I'm going to here specify the CSS code that I want to use, which is the on one. If I control save it, and now if I click on the button, then you can see the on class is actually applied to the body element. It's actually allowing the gradient color to be changed to this radical one, and also changing the color of the bulb and also the color of the switch button. So whenever I click on it, it's going to on the bulb, and if I again click it, then it's going to toggle the CSS code. So yeah, that's it for this particular module. If you like this module, then leave your review, because your review motivates me to create more awesome and unique courses like this. So thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next lecture. Thank you very much.